You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the March 26th meeting of the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau Board of Managers. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
2024 meeting for the Board of Managers for the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau. And we'll begin with the roll call for attendance.
Becky Greenlaw. Pat Harris.
Here.
Corinne Myers. Stacy Bedney. Diane Gonzalez.
Present.
Martha King.
Here.
Adam Konechny.
Here.
Mike Sykes.
Present.
Don Babcock.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Okay, we're going to proceed. Are there any public comments at this time? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve our February 2024 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Don Babcock and a second by Martine. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last month, I appointed an advisory committee, and we named the individuals on that committee as Laura Krenz, Doug Waters, and Angela Gager. So what I thought about afterwards is it is a county organization, so we wanted to really kind of have a bigger mixture of individuals on that advisory board or advisory committee. So I have decided to add 2 people, and the second one I haven't gotten confirmation yet, but William Walker from the Park Department. This advisory committee is supposed to be representing the community, and we're supposed to be getting information and input from the community, so he would be a wonderful asset or addition to that committee, and he has accepted, and he's enthusiastic about doing it, so having the Park Department represented would be great. So next month, hopefully we'll have our other person confirmed, and I can announce that for you. Also had some discussions with Jack, and he's going to go into a little bit more detail, but we are pursuing the retreat for this year. You know, we do it about every 3 years, and it's about time to do that, and Don did bring that up, so it is time to do that. We are going to be doing that. We're looking at maybe later in the year, but just to keep you posted on that, we will start adding that to the agenda as an item to discuss or to keep you updated on. So with that, I have nothing else. The treasurer's report. Becky's not here, so Gail is going to assist us with this today.
Thank you. As we received by email and is available for you here today, our claims for February of 2024 included accounts payable of $106,102.62, payroll totaling $84,260.36 for a grand total of $190,362.99. The sheet will be passed for your signatures and approval of the above claims and are in lieu of separate signature pages. Also, you will see in the folder a reckoning of our cash flow with bank reports and a reconciliation summary and detail of our bank reports, statement of financial position as of February 29th, 2024, and profit and loss budget performance for February 2024. If there are any questions, I'm happy to hear them.
With that, I will ask for a motion to approve our financial report as presented by Bill Johnson.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion,
I'll second.
we have a second by Don, a motion by Martha King, a second by Don Babcock. Any discussion on the financials? Any questions? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Well, Jack, that brings us down to you and our CEO report. Lots of things going on, so.
Yeah, a couple things. So, on the financial report, Don brought up a good question. At the meeting, you said you saw the large payout that went to Blue Chip. And what I caught my attention was, anytime we're gonna be having a payout that large moving forward, I'll try to give you guys a heads up on what it's about. I know some of you have been here and probably knew what it was, but Don had not. It was a great question. And so I'll get with Gail, and that was a very, it only happens like once a year. And what that was the payout for the basketball tournament in LaPorte. It wasn't all of it, but it was the majority of it. It was the money that we paid to Blue Chip for housing the teams, basically, and feeding them, all 10 teams for the 4 days that they were here. But I just want to let you guys know, if moving forward, I'll get with Gail, and anytime we have something that big, I'll try to just give you a heads up.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, it's, 6 figures is a number. So
Yeah. Again, I'm trying to think, because when he asked the question, I'm thinking, geez, the only thing we've got with Blue Chip is the subsidy dollars that we approve, and the whole budget's not even that much. But now they did send us their subsidy for the year. She's able to. We already got them all booked and signed, all the meetings and conventions. So we do know what those subsidy dollars are, and we'll be paying those in the next check run, right, Gail? Yeah. So that would be another Blue Chip payment out, but it'll be in the range of 40,000, 38,000 or something like that versus that. But just a heads up. But I like to give you guys notice when something like that is coming down, and I will do that. So, okay, let's see. Well, Pat alluded to the planning session, strategic planning, and tying in with a board retreat. So I've been working on that. Pat and I've been talking for a couple months about it. So here's kind of an outline of what I think we'll be presenting to you all for this fall. Either our September board meeting date or our October board meeting date, one of those two. We will build a planning session retreat around the board meeting. Okay, that's kind of what we're planning so far, and there's a lot of moving pieces yet. But so just as an example, and we're going to do the Blue Chip because we want to do that tour of Blue Chip, because many of you have not seen the new restaurants and all the stuff that Angie reported. That'll all be open by then. So, for example, on Monday, the day before our board meeting, on one of those 2 months, we'll let's just say convene at noon. For talking purposes, we'll do some of our planning. Maybe we'll start earlier. Maybe we'll break for dinner that night, and then we'll roll right into the board meeting the next morning, because we have to have a board meeting anyway. And then we'll go back and finish up the planning process or something to that nature. Again, not exactly timelines or anything else. So that'll be the plan. And also, it's been really awkward trying to work for a long time under a 1-year plan. By the time we get it approved and go through the process, the year's over. I started talking to Linda about getting this one approved for this year. Here we are at the end of March. 24, and by the time we could get it done, get it to you all, digested and approved, we'll probably be halfway through the year. Seems a little awkward, right? So we're going to do a 3-year plan. Linda's, that's your idea, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of, at least that's going to be the framework.
Yeah.
Okay, multi-year plan.
You're talking the marketing plan.
Marketing and business plan.
The business plan.
That was strategic plan, yes. Business plan, yes.
Yeah.
that sounds great. I'm excited to be part of that. So I'm assuming it's just not going to be a brainstorm the first day. I'm assuming there's going to be some semblance of a plan.
Oh, yeah.
Previous year
Yeah, we've got
set out in advance so we can kind of look over that kind of thing. Okay.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish.
So we would have kind of some framework of a plan before the actual Monday.
Oh, yeah.
So there's something there to work from. Okay.
Yeah. So first of all,
That's the
That's a
plan.
lot to, I mean,
That-
a big
And
bucket.
the
The
time-
plan is to have it on the agenda every month, building up to that, so that you all have an
Oh,
opportunity to
okay,
give
so
input.
that's even better, okay.
Yeah, well, here-
That's
So
what
there'll
we
be an
want
element
to
to
do.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, just to clarify, we gotta get a facilitator, okay? You can't, you gotta have somebody from outside, and we're working on that. Starting on that. It'll be driven by us, driven by the board, but there needs to be an industry, a person, somebody who understands that. So that'll be part of it. And then and again, we gotta see how this goes, but it would seem to me that we'll plant the seed and build the framework during those couple days. There'll probably be a follow-up then that comes back from the facilitator that says, here's the input we got, here's what we're looking at.
Multi-step process.
That's right. That's the way these things kind of work. And so then, just first quarter of next year, there might be a follow-up that we've been spoon-feeding you all along. Here's what we're getting, here's what we're getting, here's what to expect, and then maybe it'll be ready for a vote in the first quarter of the next year. That's kind of just a rough idea, Pat, of.
Rough.
Yeah, real rough, just to give you an idea.
I like
And as we-
a
as we
longer,
go through-
it takes a,
Yeah, we
big
can do
effort,
it,
so.
big deal.
Yeah, and we have some big things going on, so we need to make sure the Tourism Bureau is melding in with those things that are happening in the various communities in the county.
Yeah,
So-
I agree. So as part of this process, the question I would have would be, should there be some level of community outreach? So for example, a community survey or a subcommittee of municipal leaders?
That could come out of
Or
the,
something like
I would
along
want
the way to
Those are the
kind of
things-
make sure we get so when we get the thing done, it's broadly supported rather than just launch it on it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So,
So,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's exactly.
and I would hope that would come out of the meeting that we have.
Okay, on the front end.
Oh, that's right, yeah, that would become, I mean, there's all kind, and I don't even, but technically, all the communities are represented. I mean, we got direct represented from commissioners, from mayors. Now, there's some thought to that process too, so, but that you guys gotta decide that, okay? And I would let that move on, but anyway, that's the framework for that, and that's where we're going. And the basis here, okay, we've got an excellent plan, in my opinion. Just, it's short, it's not, it's not set out to guide us long enough, but it's worked very well. So it's not like we're going into the process without any pillars that we want to build around.
Sure.
The pillars of youth sports, the pillars of the events we run, the pillars of our head and beds that bring in the money. I mean, those are the kind of things that you can't walk away from.
Yeah, I think whatever our key metrics are for measuring our success, that should be what drives
Part, it'll be part, and there'll be an actual measurement tool in the document that, and staff will be assigned certain follow-ups, and there'll be a measurement to see if staff follows through on a, I mean, that's the way we've done them in the past.
That's right. No,
Yeah.
great.
And I really see using our advisory committee to, as part of that process.
Yes, exactly.
That's why I want to.
And that's another way to get the community involved is the
And
vital.
that's why I wanted to build that
That
a
was
little bit bigger, to make more
That's-
people involved.
It's wonderful. I
Exactly.
love it. Thanks.
So, okay, that's, I haven't had a chance to talk to Mike Sykes about our legislative liaison for the board, but I do have just a brief summary on the session that ended. Everything came out okay tourism-wise. That's the summary. And that's the kind of thing you hope for, when they go into session. It was a short session. There was a couple bills that were what I call poison pill bills that were bad, but they didn't get traction. They didn't make it. A couple counties had some, northern Indiana counties had some things that directly affect them, but not us. Our friends in Elkhart County went for and got an increase in innkeeper's tax. Good for them. Let's see, Lake County, typical Lake County, they had language addressing their board makeup and some stuff over there that changed drastically from ours. And just an example, ours, as you all know, Don, you know, because we had this hassle, discussion about partisanship, can't have more than, they lifted that from Lake County but not ours. Ours, not.
Sure.
Yeah, and you're going to have, opening our legislation is not something that'll happen under my tenure. I'm just telling you right now, opening the legislation up for discussion on improvement. For example, it makes sense to our language now on board participation prohibits Blue Chip from being on this board because of the residency requirement, because all their top management people live out of town.
Yeah.
And they should be at the table.
Right, yeah, so you mentioned your advisory committee, I would suggest considering on the advisory committee the big contributing drivers to the organization. So Blue Chip is one.
Well, Angie's chairman.
Oh, excuse me, my ignorance. Good, that's right.
Yeah,
I should have known that.
Yeah, she's
Thank
agreed.
you, good, good process, because, they're the big contributors, they ought to be weighing
that's why we did it
in
now.
where, quote, their revenue source for us is being spent.
Yeah, and that's why she's chairing it.
Right,
Yeah.
perfect, okay, good.
So anyway, that's and nothing else really, except again we got 2 sessions without any problems. So that's a real good thing. Talk a little bit about some boat race stuff. X Insurance is working on a press release that we expect today or tomorrow that's going to allow us to start moving forward with our press releases. And the reason there's a little bit of discussion there is tied in with X Insurance last year was Good Boy Vodka. Some of you may have saw the signage on their boat all over the park. Those two have parted ways, and so we're having to kind of start over with some. Good Boy Vodka cannot be part of anything that we print, say, or do anymore, because that marriage broke up, right? And nothing to do with us, but X Insurance says unequivocally that can be on there. So we had to slow down on the press release, but incorporated in the press release eventually when we get it will be some things. For example, April 1st, our VIP tickets will go on sale. We're ready to roll. Ready to go, and that's not an easy process. And again, remind me to get a hold of Katie Eaton, please, because I want to get a quote from her on the VIP tickets, please. It hit me on the way here this morning.
Do we have a price for those yet?
Yeah, $150 for all 3 events.
All 3.
Is that right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Chelsea not here? Okay, but it's $150 for all 3.
So on that point, do you have a target number of sales? Do you try to get 100, 500, how many?
1 million.
1 million. No, I'm just trying to get a framework for how much you can handle versus how much revenue you have.
We only know well, as you know, NIPSCO gives us $20,000.
Right.
Okay, and so they get the first 200 tickets. Okay, boom. So out of the 900 tickets that we're going to sell, 960, they get the first 200. That's gone.
Okay, that's what I said, the 960.
Yeah.
Yeah, 960. That's the new number. If you'll recall, I reported last month that we've extended to 10. Okay, so that gave us 90 more seats or whatever it gave us. So I think we were up to 960 or 990, one of those two. So anyway, we're so Don, you got a back door, because out of those 200, as you know, the CBB pretty much ends up giving another 200 to the other entity, because NIPSCO usually will take, let's just say they take the city of LaPorte, or city of Michigan, or both municipalities, both, then we'll take the county. Remember how or vice versa.
Yeah.
Okay, and so whatever Katie ends up taking to accommodate elected officials and so forth, we'll get them. So let's just say there's 400 there that are gone completely right there. Okay, so reality then, that leaves 500, but it probably only leaves 3 because we've got sponsors that are committed, maybe 2.5, because the sponsors get a bunch of other sponsors. So we'll sell a couple hundred to 250. We'll sell out, we always do. We have to close sales every year about 3 weeks before the event, 2 weeks before the event.
My question was really, and I think you kind of answered it, is it's more to the capacity, how many tickets
It's all built
could
up
you
on
handle it.
the under the tent.
Yeah, so 900, there's 900 and some, almost 1,000 seats, if you will. available, and this is where they're apportioned out.
Yeah, 3 events. It gets a little dicey because some people don't come to all of them, and trying to project this, that gets real dicey on that. But we've done okay. Last year was the first year that we actually had feedback from the community that we didn't have enough seats on the table. We had people actually standing, eating out of their plates on Sunday. My dentist was one of them. So I guess why? I heard that.
I feel a little nervous about that.
I know, I'm telling you, that was the first thing I fixed. That's why that tent got extended. But, yeah, so, we're trying to accommodate that as we work through it. So, anyway, the other announcements, we've doubled down on the block party and parade. It really caught my attention when the race teams were here actually probably 2 months ago now, Blue Chip, and they were just bragging on how we're the best block party and parade all across the United States. We can't sit on our laurels here, okay? We got to just can't just sit there and say, yeah, we're good. And so we've doubled down. I've got Chelsea working with Dee. Dee is the person that she's a meeting planner that with the downtown group that is going to help manage that for us. And she's on her own with those folks. It's not a financial arrangement, but one of our staff's going to be tied with them. We're adding a lot of exciting stuff, little things, family friendly activities that'll bring people in, kids in, stuff like that. So we've met. We actually got approved to the Board of Works, but now we've realized that we need to add a couple more streets maybe, or a little bit of extra footage. Terry will know more about that than I do, but so we're going to go back, right, Terry, probably at some point to the Board of Works. And
follow today's meeting.
Yeah, and so right after this meeting today, some of us, the block party group, the parade group, are going to meet and get a plan to go back and say, well, oops, we got to get a little bit larger street closure.
Do you have any idea how much you want to expand that, Terry?
Yeah, go ahead.
I received the stuff from Dee and from Chelsea. They're talking about taking it possibly from 8th Street, closing Franklin Street from 8th Street all the way down to 6th Street. So we've got a lot of logistics to talk about, understanding and
Okay. After we meet today, we'll know if that's going to move forward that way or not. But, yeah. And then I think we were missing one insurance certificate, which we got in. Alcohol, that's been in. So yeah. So anyway, that's moving pretty well. Insurance has gotten a lot better. City has really done a good job cleaning up that insurance. I want to get that on a record. That's been a real heartburn over the years. It's put our vendors in a spot where sometimes they couldn't even afford to get insurance over the previous administrations, and we got that cleaned up, and that's helped tremendously.
Yeah, is there going to be any outreach to the local brokers?
Yep. That's why we're meeting. We're going to go knock on doors. Yeah, we're going to go talk about. Sure, Mike. There's going to be all 12 classes that race in the race are going to be represented here. I know there's been a lot of rumors about certain classes, certain boats, everything else. The class 1 that did get knocked out of here because of that politics with APBA and the points, they all just said, guess what, we're going to call ourselves extreme class, and they're all still coming. The only one that's not coming is not racing all year, and that's 222. I don't know if you know it or not. The driver is incapacitated, broke his collarbone and had surgery, and we just found out. So they're not going to be racing anywhere. Just found out, Terry, yeah. Do you know who that driver is? He's one. Yeah, thank you, yeah. Sorry. So anyway, we got all 12 classes coming. There's been rumors that that's not the case. That's the case. I think I meant, if I tell you last month, X Insurance is kicking in $5,000. We kicked in $5,000, and we're going to double the prize money for the race teams. I think I told you guys that.
That's
fun. Yep. And I already mentioned VIP. So that's probably enough for today to get you thinking about stuff. Get you going, unless you got any questions, Pat, or anything like that?
Does any board members have any questions about the boat race and the other activities?
Or anything under operation finances? All right, so, just a heads up, Linda's gonna give a report there will not be a head in bed, so yeah, Linda, if you go, please.
Okay, and just so everyone knows, Amy Riley is on vacation this week, so that's why she's not here. But she's been working just as hard as the rest of us, especially with the boat race. Her title is digital marketing, and she's really getting into that, especially with a lot of boat race information and so on. So more to come. Some of you, Diane, maybe Terry, and anyone else, we have the community reports that we handed out last month's meeting. I'd like to give you a zipper envelope to turn over to the commissioners and Terry, the mayor, and whomever. So I have these ready just to be sure of the count. But we wanted to be sure that all the elected officials also had a chance to see the community report. So
And you got Brett for LaPorte, right?
Brett.
Brett's gonna do LaPorte.
Yep.
And Terry and Brett, if you would, please put them, make sure that the mayor's giving one for sure, and then department heads or whatever. Thank
Can we
you.
do that for the county too?
Diane's taking them to the commissioners.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. Okay. Earlier this month, 4 of us attended the ITA Tourism Conference in Evansville. It was packed. I think this was the highest number, 245 for the attendance. The North was well represented, so we're always happy to see that. And so we had a lot of things going on, different opportunities to meet a lot of the good vendors. Jack Doug, our friend from the Indiana State Festival Association, wanted you to know that they have taken a contract for a full year on the Indiana Toll Road. I wasn't aware that they were just doing 6 months, but he said he coughed up the money and now they're on the toll road for the whole year. So he was really excited about that. He's usually the first one that grabs us when we're walking down for registration. Monday night, we had an opening reception, and it was at a location that had, 3 high sets of stairs to get up to the top floor. It was really nice. Once again, good turnout. They had dual pianos, so it was very entertaining. And we had a bus to shuttle us back and forth to the hotel. Tuesday, and all of Tuesday's events was hosted by in Indiana. So obviously we had Elaine Beadle was there to talk about things going on in the state, and just giving us a good overview on a lot of things that are going on, including the eclipse. It's real big, especially down south, but there are some things happening in our county as well. Let's see.
On that note,
Yep.
we got contacted by Rob Saby. Who's doing the follow-up with the hotels on the eclipse? Is that Amy?
Amy would leave it.
Okay, we need,
had starting discussion.
yeah, but we have some follow-through to do on that, so I'll make sure we get that done.
Okay, and then Tuesday, they did have the awards and dinner. Unfortunately, we did not receive an award this year for the Great Lakes Grand Prix. There were probably 5 more additional events/festivals that were presented, and I think one of those might have been Holiday World. Eric Snow is the CEO for Holiday World, but he's also the board president for ITA. So we were happy. We were a little saddened, but we got it last year, so we're cool with letting someone else.
No, we're not cool.
It's not cool.
We're not cool.
Oh, no.
I've already had a chat with
You've
Terry.
already
I know, right?
And,
Cancel the dues check for that.
I know, it was rough. It was rough, Jack, but we were professional and just did what we had to do.
I appreciate it.
So that was pretty much with the tourism. There's a lot of planning that's going on now. Another thing that they had at the conference, ITA has their own academy. And anyone can submit someone from their staff and so on, more like a professional development. And so they had their graduation as well at the conference. And they usually have a very good number, and so far for this year, they've maxed out. I think usually they have maybe 25 applicants, so it's something that has really taken over. And it just gives those, not the heavy expense like when you go to DI and so on, but still getting that training. And actually it was announced that Destinations International, after some of these graduates, they will receive CDME recognition, so they can carry that on. So I think that was an added plus that everybody was excited about. So we, that's good to know, and Amy and I have been chatting about, you know, maybe somebody here could possibly even go. Last week, Michigan City Chamber hosted their annual awards and dinner, and the CBB was recognized for its 35 years being members of the chamber. Thank you, Don Babcock. He was up on the stage and did the champagne toast.
No, I missed that.
Yeah, I know.
That's for Katie.
Yeah,
So she's obviously transitioning here, so. I had something else in mind, but then that Katie's a much better candidate.
He was well recognized, so everybody knew Don.
Yeah.
So and had a green feather or something in his pocket for St. Patrick's Day. So and then we've got a ribbon cutting coming up next month with HealthLink. You know, behind Ivy Tech, they built a facility and so on. So there's going to be a ribbon cutting for that. Burnham Brewery is full scale open now, and they stay packed out there on Highway 12. So there's a lot going on here in Michigan City, obviously in the county, but it's always good when we all go to the tourism conference. Everybody knows everybody, so we've been, for years and so on. So we have a chance to, chat with the people from downstate, and even our neighbors in LaPorte and Lake County. We don't see them enough, except maybe on a Zoom call. So it's really good to get together and talk about what they're doing. And just like this afternoon, we have our NITDC marketing meeting, and we always do it as a Zoom. So Robbie gives us updates, looking at last year, and then what we're going to plan to do in 2024. So lots going on. So we'll keep you updated. Like Jack mentioned with the Grand Prix, non-stop. So just everything we've got, badges coming in tomorrow. We ordered golf balls from Logo Meet Plus. So for the golf outing, we've got golf balls with the X Insurance logo and several other things. So we're just getting ready because we know bigger, better, and we're also doing a lot of digital marketing to be sure we get the word out. And Amy, like I said, is just doing a fantastic job looking at some videos. So there'll be a lot going on for 2024, and more to come.
Great, thanks, Lynn. Appreciate it. Michigan City, Gary, you're up, baby. Caught you.
So we just finished up last week. We had our annual St. Patrick's Day parade. Went very well, thanks to the weather gods. Gave us beautiful weather, which doubled the number of people on the sides of the street watching. We had 54 units, which is up from last year, so bigger, better, and easier. So it was a great day. This Saturday we have our annual Easter egg hunt. It's in Washington Park. Gates opened at Fetters Alley at 11:30. The egg hunt starts at 12 and will be over by 12:03. Wednesdays we will be stuffing the eggs. Right now we're targeting somewhere between 15 to 20,000 eggs that will be stuffed on Wednesday at the Senior Center. So we're excited about that. And then following that is the Singing Saint Sand Sculpting Festival. I won't spend too much time on that, but we're really excited. The artist lineup has been set, so we have it'll be another international event. We've got international sculptors. In regards to the only other event really I'll mention is Oktoberfest. Even though that's Labor Day weekend, we are turning bands away already. We've already booked 48 bands for Oktoberfest. We are turning food vendors away because we can't fit any more food vendors in. We've turned somewhere near 20 to probably 23 food vendors away already. Art, craft, and merchandise vendors, our vendor list right now is just over 230. Now, we won't have 230 at the event, but we have 230 vendors who want to be a part of it. So we're gonna do our best to fill it, see what happens there. Only other things in regards to the Aquacross Grand Prix. I talked to Rick a little bit about this in talking with the fire chief and police chief. We feel that that event has reached a large enough size that we need to have a command center in the senior center. In addition to the Aquacross Grand Prix, we also have soccer in the sand and a volleyball tournament going on down at the park that same weekend, so it is going to be a little bit crazy. So it'll be a small command center like we do for the fireworks, which is just police, fire, EMS, EMA, and the city. So nothing really big that we have to worry about, but it's definitely an upgrade to what we've done in the past. And then in regards to the Great Lakes Grand Prix, Rob Sadie from LaPorte County Emergency Management and I will be bringing a plan to Jack and to Rick. This year, as you guys know, last year we implemented a new emergency plan. Obviously puts us in a much better situation if we have a large-scale emergency. But what we're going to be planning this year, probably in mid to late June, will be what's called an emergency tabletop exercise. If those usually may not know what that is, basically we bring all the agencies involved, fire, police, EMA, EMS, hazmat, Coast Guard, DNR, everybody into a room, and Rob Sabey will basically throw scenarios at us saying, okay, this at 9:05 we get a phone call that somebody placed a bomb someplace. He just throws all these scenarios at us, and our job is to sit there and walk through each one and say, this is how we would respond. So it's something that is common in large-scale events. Chicagoland Speedway, we did at least 3, usually 4 emergency tabletops a year. So it's something that this event needs to have. It'll measure our preparedness and give us an opportunity to think through things that we haven't thought through. So, and obviously you all saw this morning the emergency that happened in Baltimore. Anything can happen at any time, we need to be ready for it. So I think that's going to continue to take us to the next level and just make the event that much better. So that's it.
Well, the safety feature is a major one. It's safety first, so
Yeah,
I really appreciate those efforts.
Yeah, and it's, again, you never know what can happen, a million different things, you know, a boat throttle sticks and ends up on the beach.
Right.
There's casualty situations, active shooters, all of that kind of stuff will be put in front of us. And it'll be our job as the agencies and the race staff to walk through those. It's something we also may involve OPA, at least zooming them in, so they're involved as well. So you don't want to think about that stuff, but we have to think about it, we have to be prepared for it.
Right.
Does the city have a firearm policy? I mean, like, with the Supreme Court open carry, can anybody carry now in the park? Can they come to the boat race?
I'd have to go back and look at the exact wording and whether the park has, I don't know that the park has no firearms allowed. And constitutionally, it's an open carry. It's a good question. Concealed carry or open carry.
Yeah, we had a big discussion about 2 years ago with the fair board. And we kept it on the books that you can't carry a firearm in the.
The challenge will always be, how do you know? We can't put metal detectors.
No.
So we can post signage.
But sometimes that's a deterrent of some people, but just to have the sign posted, and if they are caught with it, then there's a course of action to be taken.
Right.
So that's, I think, at least posting it would be.
Yeah,
And that would be something that has to go through the park board.
Park board, well,
The park board
right.
would have to make that decision. And I know that I've heard that there's been discussions, I can't say exactly what they are, but yeah, I mean, the challenge is always going to be, you have it in your car, you have it on your boat, you have it wherever, people have it in a bag. Unfortunately, a lot of times you don't realize that somebody has it until they pull it out.
Well, we used to check the handbags at the main entrance. We used to have a. We're going to stop that.
It's virtually impossible to do that. I mean,
Oh yeah, it is with you guys.
and when you think about the park, the best way to describe it, it's a sieve. there's just holes everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
People can walk in, walk
In
out,
there,
go
yeah.
wherever they want. So, that's obviously a scenario that we're gonna play through. Active shooters, unfortunately, have become something that we need to be aware of constantly. I think the police department, fire department, the great thing about these emergency tabletop exercises is the scenario gets thrown at us and then everybody gets into their own arena and discusses, okay, if it's law enforcement related, then law enforcement takes the lead, becomes the incident commander. If it's a fire or an explosion, fire becomes the lead on that. If it's on the water, obviously Coast Guard takes the lead. So, and then we just become support. The biggest challenge ever with the event at Washington Park is in and out, access in and out. If we had a large scale emergency at Washington Park, there's 2 ways in, 2 ways out. You have a big situation, everybody wants to get out. Traffic is a nightmare. Emergency vehicles are trying to get in. So it's all things like staging areas. If we had a mass casualty, where do we stage 15 ambulances? Where do we stage additional fire equipment? Where do we stage additional police officers? The last thing you want is everybody just showing up at the park because it's chaos. So it's staging areas, it's timing, it's command center, it's who's making the calls, and that's what that exercise will do.
Thanks much. Great, good deal. Just amazing, Terry, what you brought in your short time here to this event for us. And to sit here and hear the level we're at now with this event with regards to having to put this type of planning in, it's more than a regional event now. This thing is, and you've done a great job leading that. And just to clarify for the public and make sure the discussion on firearms has nothing to do with CBB. Zero. Okay, I want to make sure that's clear. Okay, that's not our lane, not our discussion, period. We're not the landlord there. The landlord is the park department, the city. Great question, good discussion, but I don't want any public to misunderstand that we have no more say-so on that than anybody off the street, and we're not going to be leading that discussion. That's not our lane. Okay, so if somebody else wants to lead it, awesome. So
I apologize.
no, good question, but we don't want to leave the impression out there that that's a CBB option to discuss that.
I didn't get it.
Yep, that's good. So next one is LaPorte. He's got 30 seconds, take your time.
All right, great run for us. Last 2 weeks, we had 5 major events over at the Civic. Just wound up 4 concerts and a St. Patrick's Day celebration called the Shamrock Shindig on March 16th. Going forward, April 12th, we have the Chris Stapleton Eric Church tributes coming in out of the Chicago area. Great show. I think we have about 3 tables left on the floor, and the floor will be sold out. Then we'll go to the balcony seating. On April 20th, the LaPorte County Symphony is hosting a Beatles tribute. They're doing, I don't know if anybody's seen this before, but a lot of times orchestras will partner with bands. And it's amazing to see because, you have this 5 to the 8-piece band. It gets up and normally plays. We'll now add another 60 instruments to it. It's going to be an amazing show. Tickets are available for April 20th through the LaPorte County Symphony. And then April 27th, the New Day Foundation is hosting their annual fundraiser. New Day Foundation does great work in LaPorte County, helping with cancer victims, the treatment of cancer for the people suffering from it, helping their families pay bills. It's a huge fundraiser, great local Northwest Indiana band Whistle Pigs will be their headliner for the show. Generally raises like $50,000+ to go toward cancer. 100% of that money goes toward their cause. So it's a great thing to have in our community. We're very thankful to host that at the Civic Auditorium. And then May 4th will be LaPorte High School's prom, and May 11th we'll have the Jimmy Buffett tribute. Sunflower Fair is going to be a major focus for us this year. It's going to be set for September 21st. It's the 25th annual, so we're talking about a quarter century now. Last year we drew over 8,000 people to Michigan Avenue over the course from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Very excited about this. We've already got over 60 vendors applied. Working on enhancing the entertainment. We want this to be a big one. Our goal is to get 4 $2,500 sponsors and put a little bit more money into the
Are you
show.
cooking the corn?
No, the corn roast is a Rotary project. I'm a little bit busy that day. However, we're very excited to get that going, and then our Friday Night Lives have been announced. Those will be Friday, June 8th, Friday, July 5th, Friday, August 9th. We're making the Friday night of the jet ski race a Friday Night Live at Fox Park. And then Friday, September 20th will be the Friday Night Live on the app the night before the Sunflower Fair. So that's enough, and things are going very well for us.
Great deal, thanks, Mike. Jordan, Connie?
This time of year, the fair is kind of a slow time. Our biggest thing is the winter storage that we have going on there. But coming up, for event-wise, in June, we do have Gathering of the Orange. So the Al Chalmers Convention is going to be held there. They're anticipating 3,000 to 5,000 people in town for that weekend. So we're excited to be partnering, I shouldn't say partnering, but helping them out with the facilities and that there. They're not only using their building that's out front, but a lot of our area too. So other than that, getting ready for fair, obviously too, is the big push. Last night we did get approval for an additional $280,000 to go into the infrastructure there. The big chunk of that is to finish out the campground. Which I know I've been talking about that before. We are upgrading everything out there, so it'll be year-round. In the last 10 years, just with the numbers that I have seen from the fair, the rental hasn't done nothing but increase, and the calls that we are getting asking for year-round rentals is obscene lately, especially with the construction and all that coming in New Carlisle that's happening, with the prison. The workers that are coming into town, yes, they do stay in hotels too, but a lot of them now have their trailers or campers, and that's what they're looking for. So we're really trying to get that finished up. The deadline for that is June 14th to have all of that finished. So we're excited to see what the second half of the year will bring for revenue for the campsite.
Joy,
Yes.
just the events at the fair, the concerts, do we have a report on who's going to be our headliners
For Fair Week,
for fair?
whoever they have booked, they've only announced the one right now. I'm
And then-
not part of that. That's the
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But I can pull up the names on that one for you too. They just announced one, I think they don't have the second one announced yet.
Okay.
I get voted down every meeting on who to bring in, because I don't like country music, so I couldn't tell you who it is, Pat.
Okay.
Tell them I know, man.
Any more questions for Jordan?
And I just wanted to, make the public, if we knew.
It is.
Oh, it's announced, yeah.
It has, okay, all right.
July 9th is Priscilla Block, and July 10th is Chris Young. That's who's
Okay.
been announced so far.
Never heard of it.
Coming out, so.
I'm sure he's a joy at that meeting, like a ray
I know,
of
right.
sunshine at that meeting. All right, Joy, thank you. Just follow up, Joy mentioned the Show of Orange, the Chalmers thing. We're partnering with them at a pretty high level, doing quite a bit of signage with them. The gentleman that was heading it up for him has passed it on to a new person, and we're trying to make contact with Paul Reimer right now, who heads that up. But yeah, we're working with, but we've already committed some dollars for signage, yeah. So, moving the last item under my report, Pat, Blue Chip, I'll fill in for Angie here. I had mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, I think, or maybe before the meeting started, to a couple of you, that the line item that we approved for the subsidy for Blue Chip is almost done. Angie submitted that. So that's what that tells us is they're booked out the rest of the year. She's so proud of that we've been able to use that money to get back out. The only thing outstanding that I'm aware of at Blue Chip on a really large scale that we haven't, that there's no subsidy involved here, but South Bend was awarded the NCAA football expansion for next year. Yeah, and we're going to host teams here. We already know that. That's part of a discussions that are going on right now. That'll be forthcoming soon, because there's a lot of work got to be done on the expansions, how many and all that. Obviously, that's not done yet. Once it trickles down to the level where they're going to start booking facilities, we're going to be one of them. That's the cool thing. So yeah, that's a real good deal. So Pat, that's all I got for now.
That's all?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of all of the activities that are going on? It's a very active county, and I always tell you guys, if you look at other counties and what they're doing, we're right up there. We're right up there, and that's the measuring tools to see how we're doing, how we fare against not only the counties around us, but across the nation. So just sometimes go out and just Google county tourism, and a bunch of stuff will come up, and just start clicking on some of that. Just got to get an idea of what's going on around the country, and then you can see how very active we are. So very proud of what the staff does here, very professional and very much involved. So keep up the good work.
Take care.
Do we have any unfinished business at this time? Any new business? Okay, do we have any board comments or announcements? Anybody would like to share?
We've got a date coming up here. It's tentative, I think. I think it's going to be May 13th. Is the South Shore a targeted date for their ribbon cutting for the double track?
Oh,
That's the target date. I don't know if that's what the final is, but that's the target.
okay.
Don't you have
Good to know.
innovation coming up too?
That's it.
PNC, don't you have the innovation?
We have Innovate Within with the state is in a routine with the high schools, and they have competition, and there's a big event routinely at Purdue Northwest in support of that with the Society of Innovators.
Yeah.
I don't have the date off that offhand, but at least I don't think I can find it. But,
Do you want a really large turnout for South Shore?
well, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's
It's a, I don't know what the plan is, but, the station to station is Michigan City to Gary improvements, so that's exciting stuff. And so then obviously the connection with the queuing sequence across the whole line is going to get better relative to ours, going from an hour 45, hour 50 minutes to maybe an hour and 5. It gets even better than that. But it improves efficiency along the whole way. I mean, even the Gary trains, the Hammond trains, the East Chicago trains are all affected by the double track. Because trying to get
anything in South Bend? Are they going to move?
well, South Bend that's another activity in that there's a relocation of the South Bend station. So, but that's not part of the double track. That's separate.
Oh, okay.
So, and then there's also going to be, this is a Hammond thing, is that once the double track and the Westlake corridor are complete, is that they'll start their downtown Hammond station also. So, a lot going on.
Yeah, that's why this whole retreat thing is very important.
I think you're well. Obviously, I think it's valuable to get not only your advisory committee input, but also the broader commitment from the board, and let's get a plan together and then execute it and adjust. And you've done that well in the past. And just as a new member, I'd just like to be part of that. That's all.
You're going to be.
Oh, yeah. We will tap into you as a resource.
I'm kind of
That
shocked,
will
so-
be done. That will be done, trust me. Okay, any other board comments? Okay, hearing none. Our next meeting is April 23rd, 2024. Same time, same place. So with that, have a great month, and the meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Don.